Oh my gosh. Let's talk about Housewives of Potomac, because a lot has gone on. There's a lot that pissed me off this episode. There's a lot I'm just not understanding. So let's freaking talk about it. So the episode starts off, the girls are still at the house, it's on their girls trip, and Gizelle decides to pull Robin to the side to have a private business meeting when really she wants to talk to her about her, not feeling well enough to get up out of bed and just unmotivated, her relationship with Juan and how that can affect her and Juan, and and all of that stuff. Robin appreciated Gizelle pulling her to the side, and Gizelle said, she wanted to talk to her in private because they are really good friends. But I feel like, Gizelle should have stayed a little more quiet about, oh, who wants to marry that, like comment she said at the dinner table last episode, if she was just going to pull Robin to the side anyway. I did like some of the things Gizelle was saying to Robin, and I can't believe Robin is like so unmotivated to the point where she has retailers contacting her about carrying her hats and she's not responding. It's like something really going on with Robin. So overall it was a nice moment to see between friends. We all know clear as day that Robin and Gizelle are thick as thieves, and they are like real friends outside of this show. So Ashley finally comes to the house. It was refreshing to see Ashley, like she hasn't been in a lot of the events and stuff like that because she just had a baby. So Robin gets to the house, she finds the girls in the pool. All the girls are doing some pool workout thing that Gizelle does, whatever. And she basically gets caught up by Karen. Karen is like the first to talk about whatever Gizelle does, and Gizelle is the first to talk about whatever Karen does. They don't like each other so much, all they do is talk about each other all day long, to the point where Karen's husband had to say, all right girl, that's enough about Gizelle, I'm tired of talking about her. So Karen gets Ashley up to speed about Gizelle making the comment to Wendy about Wendy having no substance based on how she's dressing this year. She doesn't seem to have any substance or whatever. And then Gizelle fills in Ashley, and Ashley, you can clearly tell that Ashley kind of sides with Gizelle. I don't know if they're just closer or whatever, but she immediately defended Gizelle, even when Karen told her that Wendy was crying, and Karen kind of consoled her and just comforted her. So they go to lunch. Here's where everything kind of hits the fan and where I started to get pissed off for Wendy. So they go to lunch and the topic comes up because of course Ashley is still messy. Even though she hasn't been around, she quickly reminds you that Ashley is going to bring up the drama. She's going to address any and everything. So Ashley brings up the whole situation of, Wendy having some issues with Gizelle about how Gizelle made her cry and all that stuff, because Gizelle still doesn't know that Wendy cried at this point. So, Gizelle is just like, I didn't know I made her feel that way. If she's crying or whatever, that's internally with her. I didn't say that. I didn't body shame her or anything like that. And Wendy can't even get a word in, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, she could barely get a word in. And then, of course, I can't stand. I understand, but I can't stand how Robin, every time Gizelle is in, a beef with somebody or a negative exchange with somebody, Robin always wants to jump in. Even if Robin ain't really saying much of nothing. And it's like, Robin, you are not involved. Just shut up and let Gizelle talk and hash it out with whoever she's hashing it out with. If Gizelle is not being attacked by 2 to 3 different people, she don't need you to hop in. Just shut up. But it got flipped on Wendy. Wendy was trying to make her point or whatever. And Robin's like, oh, you're cutting me off. You keep cutting me off. And Wendy's like, no, you're cutting me off. When actually, Wendy, every time she tried to say something, she was getting cut off by Ashley or cut off by Robin or cut off by Gizelle. We never really got to hear Wendy's full point about anything. Barely anything. And then they tried to flip it again so that they don't seem like the negative ones or the mean girls, and try to say, oh, you're talking to us like you're on CNN in a combative contest. And it's just like, the girl is just trying to say that you don't define her. You don't say if she has substance or not. You can't say how she can dress. If she chose to dress different in all gothic clothes tomorrow, you guys don't define her. That's all she's saying. But they constantly are flipping it because I think they know that they're guilty in what they said really could be taken in a very negative way. So I think those girls are very, very good at flipping the switch. And it's very much gaslighting. Like, it's very much gaslighting. And it is so, so bad and so irritating to freaking watch, okay? But Karen got some acknowledgement because Wendy really appreciated her, just consoling her and encouraging her and making her feel like, no, you don't have to start dressing different because of what Gizelle said and da-da-da-da, like, you know what I mean? But whenever somebody gives, like, a positive comment on Karen, Gizelle says, oh, I think, you know, Karen's not being genuine. Karen didn't like you last year, which was true. You know, Karen was throwing hella shade at Wendy last year, like she didn't know her, whatever. But I think the roles are changing now because I think Karen is just mostly focused on exposing Gizelle for who she is. And she sees that Wendy is under attack by Gizelle. So I think Karen has kind of switched a bit to kind of just be more nice to Wendy. So I think that's because I think she's just focused on exposing who Gizelle really is at this point. Now, the one thing Wendy said at the table, because Mia, girl, I was liking you, but you pissing me off because you keep defending, like, she defends Gizelle at any opportunity she can in this video. I mean, in this episode. Like, she is defending Gizelle left and right. And it's like, if you want to be a middle person, you got to point out both sides, honey. Okay? Because now it's looking like you picking a side, and it's just not looking good for you. So Mia keeps defending Gizelle or whatever, but then Wendy goes, well, you were a stripper, so I mean, why would you be judgmental towards me showing skin if you were a stripper? And then they try to flip it and say, oh, because she was a stripper, she can't comment on how you dress. It's just like, it's just being relatable. It's not like she's saying, oh, Mia can't comment because she was a stripper. She's saying, yo, you used to take your clothes off. You used to show skin. You shouldn't be making me feel bad about showing skin. Like, you know what I mean? If anything, like, you could probably relate. You could probably relate. Or you could probably be like, oh, go girl, you look cute or something. That's where she's coming from. And like Mia just defending everything Gizelle is saying. It's just like, Mia, please stop trying to be accepted by the freaking green-eyed bandits. Please continue being you because we were feeling you. But Mia is backtracking because one minute she said, oh, I was just, you know, in ball gowns and nice high-end lobster restaurants. You know, they barely had us do anything or whatever. Then they played the clip with her saying most of the time we wouldn't have to take our clothes off. So that means you did take your clothes off. You did take your clothes off, Mia, and that's fine. You already, you know, spilled your own tea. Just admit it. You were a stripper. Who cares? Let's move on. Stop trying to sugarcoat it and act like, oh, I was an entertainer. You were a stripper. Who cares? Let's move on. So it's like, Mia, stop freaking lying and trying to, you know, make us believe one thing and then backpedal and say another thing. Like Mia, I don't know if I'm feeling you too much anymore, but we're just gonna see how the rest of the season plays out. Now, when Ashley and Gizelle left the table, they were saying like, oh, you know, I don't know why she's being so defensive, talking about Wendy, and oh, I think she's dressing this way because of the husband with the blog thing. It's like, why are y'all like continuously poking at this girl? Like, why can't y'all let it go? Who does that? Like, clearly this is for TV and y'all aren't real friends, because real friends don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all continuously going at this girl for how long now? Really? Let her live. Let her live. Okay, she's different. She's changed. She has changed. Okay, we accept it. This is who you are. We are moving on. Like, what? And the reason why Wendy got so upset when they went back inside the house and Ashley pulled her out on the side, you know, outside, and said, oh, she basically said, we think you're dressing this way because of the blog about your husband having an affair, which we don't think is true, but we think, you know, maybe you're dressing this way because you just want to show everybody that, oh, you're good, you and your husband are good, and you look good and all of this stuff. If you really cared about her, number one, and you wanted to bring this rumor up on a TV show, which is completely wrong. Clearly those ladies probably have some type of unspoken pact to not bring up crazy blog stories on the show and bring extra light to it that'll embarrass them. You know what I'm saying? So clearly that was broken. But if you really cared about her and you saw that there was these cheating rumors or whatever, you wouldn't try to link her showing more skin, getting her body done, to her husband allegedly on a block having an affair. You know, you would separate. Those are two separate things. So you trying to connect the two is saying that in your head, out of your mouth, you're saying you don't believe the blog, but with you trying to make a connection to the two, that just means that, do you believe it? You know, why are you trying to form a connection? They're two separate things. All right. So if you're saying that you don't think the blog is true, you're saying, okay, we don't think he cheated on you or anything, but we think that you're trying to change up the way you look and dress so that, you know, people know that you look good and y'all are good and all the other stuff. You know? What? And why even bring it up on the show? And Gizelle, I'm telling you, because when Wendy said she's basically gonna beat her up, it's just like, oh my gosh, Gizelle was that mean girl that probably never truly got confronted throughout high school and college, but people know she probably talking crap about you, but nobody really came up to her. I really think so, because it's just like, every time somebody calls Gizelle out on something, she finds a way to flip it. She finds a way to have the blank deer in headlights look like she didn't do anything. She takes no accountability for anything. And she always tries to say, well, it wasn't my intention to be, you know, mean. It wasn't my intention to do. It's like, yes, it was. You fed that information to Ashley because you knew Ashley was going to bring it up and feed it back to the group. And she wanted to hide her hands and not be the one to bring it up. So she gave it to the next person who's just as messy, who doesn't care to bring it up, who's also had her husband brought up several times of cheating allegations. It was all calculated. It was all calculated to attack Wendy. Gizelle was going to find a way to attack Wendy, whether she dressed different or not. She was going to find a way to put out this information about what happened on the blogs, because Gizelle has no storyline. She has nothing to talk about, and her main job is to stir up drama. So, Miss Mia, I hope nothing comes up about you. You better spill any tea that you have about yourself, because the moment something does come up, she's going to throw you under the bus and expose you. The only person she's not going to do that to is Robin. All right? Escala, please be careful and tread lightly. You know, y'all not safe around there. All right? And Wendy outed her. You know, and here's the thing. Robin was drunk. But Robin, you don't even know what you're talking about. Like, you have no substance in what you're saying to Wendy at this point. You're like, oh, a blog, so what? Like, they want to act like these blogs are so nonchalant. They are nonchalant to them, you know, outside of the show when they're at home just reading them. I'm sure they get annoyed by it. But to bring it up in front of the cameras on the show for the world to see on the episode, to give it even more light, it's like basically this stuff came out a while ago. So now y'all putting it on the show, and it makes them relive it again, and more people keep talking about it and have it live on longer. So it's just like, where's the respect for each other? Really? Like, y'all don't care about this girl. Y'all not friends with her because y'all clearly don't care about the fact that she has kids and she's married. Y'all don't care about her marriage at all. Like I said before, they are team tear down marriages. Hide your kids, hide your husband, and just lay low, okay? Go to brunch with these girls, have something to drink, have a bite to eat, chit chat a little, and be out, okay? And be out, because you ain't safe around these girls. That's all I got to say. Tell me what you guys think about this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.